Yo, what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and welcome to your weekend astrology horoscope. We are here at the winter solstice, so this is going to be covering Saturday and Sunday, December 21st and 22nd of 2024. I appreciate you all joining me in this video. I'm trusting that you guys are having a wonderful week and a wonderful holiday season. Well, like I said, we are here at the solstice, so by the time that you get, well, I'm uploading this tonight, but by the time you guys wake up on Saturday, the sun's going to creep on into Capricorn, and it's going to be like, where is everybody? It's just going to be a couple of minor asteroids, but normally when the sun comes into Pluto or Capricorn, it will meet up with Pluto, right? As well as other planets from time to time. There's nothing there. So the sun's coming home to, I wouldn't say the cleanest of slates, but a relatively new frontier as far as Capricorn energy goes. So it's going to definitely give way for some creativity and to see what we really can start to build and start to move towards. But we're still not going to necessarily have all the firepower that we want to have this Capricorn season, but it will be a good opportunity to start to set some things in motion. So let's go ahead and take a look at those charts. Well, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, December 21st, 2024, we do have the sun that is ingressed into Capricorn here at 0 degrees. It actually looks like it'll ingress a little bit earlier. This is happening at the same time that the moon is in opposition to Saturn at 13 degrees. This is marking this solstice point. And of course, this is the moment where it appears that the sun stops moving in the sky, at least here in the northern hemisphere. And I guess in the southern hemisphere. I don't know if it's the same down there, but this is the point where visually it seems like the sun just stops. And then on the 25th, it moves up, signaling that spring is coming and that longer days are ahead. But for the shortest day of the year, or at least with the sunlight, this is what we got. And it's marked with this energy. Now, it's interesting this weekend because we don't really have a ton of aspects happening. But we do have some aspects that are going to be happening that are going to be sort of like a call that we eventually are going to call back to. So remember this moment, remember this weekend, because not a few weeks, but like in about a month or so, a little less than a month, there are going to be some different events in the world that will call us back to this time, and we'll think back to the weekend before Christmas 2024, and we're like, okay, wow, so that happened. This is very interesting. But of course, now we are in cap season, right? So of course people are going to be a little bit more concerned about career and goals and finances and climbing the mountain. It's also about integrity. This is also about the hard work and the attrition, battling through life's ups and downs to make something of yourself. It's Capricorn energy, cardinal earth. So we can hopefully start to move some things in that way. We may not necessarily feel always inspired or motivated because now we have even less fire energy, but that doesn't mean that we can't still get some things done. And this moon in Virgo is providing some more earth energy, so we can use this time to get grounded. But it's going to be like, we're going to be coming face to face more with the reality of things, with that moon in Virgo. And yeah, we're going to want things to kind of look a certain way, feel a certain way, and have all the details ironed out, but we may not necessarily have all that, So that's something that we have to just take into consideration, especially with the solstice point that the moon happens to be exactly opposed Saturn on this. I think that this is just honestly, like, it makes sense that this is like the way that the year caps. Is that, like, I think emotionally we're trying to navigate this reality, but the fact of the matter is that the day-to-day reality has shifted and changed so much. The structures of it have changed so much, and now we're having to react and respond to how these structures have changed and shifted, and how that affects even our interpersonal relationships, and then our relationship to the whole, our relationship to spirit. So much has changed here. We see as the day progresses, we'll see, that moon's not really going to do a ton else. It will make some interesting quincunxes, however. So it will make a quincunx over to Venus here at 16 degrees, and then later on, a few hours later, we'll see that moon make a quincunx over to Chiron. So this is a bit of a loose yod. It's not the strongest of yods here, But, that quincunx over to Venus, yeah, there can be some awkward energy when it comes to how are we receiving the new technology, the new updates. Aquarius is all about this, about updates too. So how are we receiving the new updates? How are we connecting to people? Are we feeling offline? Are we feeling online? And then the quincunx over to Chiron. It's like, oh well, we got to take these things into consideration. You know, the Chiron aspects in our life, the places where we may feel like we come up short, the places where we may be that we have some insecurities even. How can we find the power in those things and, see, kind of bring it more into that Virgo reality? How can we find this place? How can we this you might have to compartmentalize a little bit with this moon in Virgo, right? Especially, the quincunx over to Venus, a lot of people are going to start to get together with their family and friends and stuff like that. Aquarius, of course, is about the masses, but Venus and Aquarius can be a little bit cold, and it is a little bit colder because, like I said, there's not that much fire energy right now. We have Mercury that's in Sag, sure, but remember it's in its detriment. We have Mars that's in Leo, but remember it is retrograde and it wants to only move forward, so it's not happy. And then we have Chiron in Aries, so it's like, trying to find the warmth in these areas may take a little bit more time and things may be awkward. You may not necessarily see eye to eye with everybody. You may, you know, the timing of things may just be a little bit off here, right? Plans may fall through the cracks. Virgo does rule plans, right? So, and that's the thing about this. So just something to consider here on this Saturday. I could definitely see delays as far as like travel. I could see delays as far as mail. I have a package that's supposed to be coming in the mail, and it just feels like I have a couple packages that are supposed to be coming, and we're hopefully supposed to be here before Christmas, but things are just getting delayed, and it's just getting more and more delayed. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see delays with just travel in general, but also just be careful with travel in general, especially with Mars retrograde here in Leo, and now that the sun is left, leaving even less fiery energy, there could be some frustrations that mount here. So just be careful of road rage. Be careful of angry drivers. Watch out for traffic jams. But I think that this is going to be a very interesting weekend. It's going to be kind of hard to get all of our ducks in a row, especially with, like I said, that moon that's opposing Saturn through all this as well. So just something to take in consideration for this holiday season. Travel is going to be, expect delays. Honestly, expect delays in travel. Expect delays when it comes to like receiving packages and stuff like that. It just is what it is. I think honestly, we can get so caught up in like this thing has to be here before Christmas or this thing has to go this way. But it's like it's about appreciating, the moment and appreciating, like, especially if it's like, say, a gift. Say you order something, right, and whatever it is, the gift that you're supposed to give to somebody, it comes after Christmas, right? The magic isn't necessarily in the day itself, right? Now there are certain, yeah, I know. Astrologically, yeah, I can look at one day and look at another day and be like, okay, there's a lot of major transits happening on this day, and on this day there's not like a ton of stuff happening, but every day is still unique, and every day still has its potency. So it doesn't necessarily have to be. Don't get so fixated on the day itself, but just be happy when it arrives. Be happy when the moment arrives and be willing to show up and to put your all in and give it your all and to just participate. Yeah, maybe something doesn't arrive on time. Maybe or we could take it now that the sun's in Capricorn. Maybe you're looking for a new job and maybe you're trying to, maybe the interview gets canceled or it gets postponed, right? And maybe you're like, oh crap, well, like I really wanted to go to this interview, whatever, like that and stuff. Or maybe you're supposed to be getting a raise and that's getting delayed. That's something that I'm personally dealing with, right? And it's just like, just be ready for when it does show up. Don't lament over what could be, but just appreciate it when it actually does come. Because if you continue to lament over it when it finally does come, you won't really be able to appreciate it when it does arrive. So it's not necessarily about the day itself or whatever like that. It's about the energy. It's about the exchange. It's about the gift exchange. I can say and the example of, say, like if you order something for Christmas for somebody and it comes late, and then so what? You give it to them on the day after or the 27th. They're still getting the gift. And that's really what's most important, right? So similarly, I feel like the universe, God, is giving us a gift. And I think there's a major delay. It's like we want it to come on Christmas, but it's going to be delayed, you know? And that is okay. I think we should just, take solace in the fact that something is coming and something is being gifted. And I really do believe that, like in a spiritual, esoteric way, we're all receiving like this gift from the universe, and it's not going to come on Christmas. And that's okay. There's going to be some delays here. Um, but it's something I think we will look back though. That's what I'm saying. Like I think in a month we will look back and be like, okay, that's the reason why there's a delay. We'll get more context and it'll make more sense. So that's what I'm saying. Like, do your best to not get frustrated this weekend or in the moment that there is some sort of delay or things aren't going exactly the way that you thought. Just go with the flow. That's the other thing about this Saturn and Pisces is that we have to go with the divine timing and the divine flow of things. Whereas that moon in Virgo wants it to be a certain way and whatever like that. And of course, now that the sun is here in Capricorn too, yeah, this generally when the sun gets into Capricorn, not saying that all Capricorns have big egos, but Mars does exalt itself in Capricorn, right? So yeah, there is a bit of an ego aspect to Capricorn energy, right? So now that the sun's going to go there, people are going to be much more about their business and stuff like that too, right? So now, as we move on, we will see after those quincunxes, yeah, we'll see a nice little trine over to Uranus, but that'll be like, like really early in the morning here on the East Coast. So more than likely, people aren't going to really be awake for that. Maybe some of you guys on the West Coast might get that, but some nice positive Earth energy to bring in to help you to kind of ground some things in and to learn how to appreciate the diversity and even the randomness of life. Uranus is randomness, so it's about appreciating the randomness of life. I'm sure you could look back on your life. You can be like, you could just pick out a couple of decisions that you made that were probably random, that you probably didn't think would lead to anything, but maybe led to you landing the job of your dreams, or marrying your best friend, or you're marrying like the person of your dreams, like, or maybe it led to you, I don't know, getting a pet that just that you love and adore and you cherish, or maybe it led to whatever, but maybe it led to some sort of opportunity, but it's because you made a simple decision to maybe it's the butterfly effect, right? It's like maybe you made the decision to call out of work, and because you called out of work, you might have missed something that happened or went down at work, whatever, and then, I don't know, like you just never know how things are going to turn out. So I think it's about appreciating the randomness of life and knowing that there are no accidents. There are no accidents, right? There are no accidents here. Now, going into Sunday, we are going to see, of course, that moon is going to oppose Neptune. So, that's going to pretty much be like the marker of the day. But I do think it's interesting here. Outside of this one right here, is the fact that we are going to see, of course, this moon shift into Libra, and it is going to conjunct the South Node while also squaring the Sun. So we will get that third quarter square. It's going to happen at 1 degree, but like I said, the nodes will be involved, and this is significant because this is the last time that the Sun in Capricorn will square the nodes in Aries and Libra, at least the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, for the next 18 years, right? Or 17 to 18 years, right? So in 9 years, we'll see the reversal of this, where the South Node is in Aries and the North Node is in Libra. But we're not going to get this particular aspect again for another, like I said, 17 to 18 years. And because this is so close to the nodes too, I think this makes it even a stronger third quarter square, which is why I feel like this is going to be the callback point. Why? Well, I want you to take a look at something, because just pay attention to where the sun is and pay attention to where Pluto is in relation to these nodes and stuff. Because what's going to happen in about, I would say a month or so from this time, when the moon comes back around here, the moon, of course, the South Node, of course, will be in Virgo, right? But we will see. So the next time that this comes around, we will actually see the sun that is going to be trining the South Node and the moon at 29 degrees, right? But we are also going to see Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, which will actually be trining the conjunction that the moon will have to the South Node this upcoming Sunday. So the fact that these are happening at the same time, I think is very, very interesting. And I think it's going to be a callback on around January 18th. We're going to kind of remember back to the weekend before Christmas and be like, oh, okay. So we're going to get a little bit more context. Let's say the next time that this moon comes around onto this south node. That's going to be, and it's also going to be, Venus with Saturn that day at 16 degrees. So that you're going to have a major conjunction there. So that's what lets me know that this isn't just a random day and that's something to pay attention to. This third quarter square with this moon with the south node. It's because in a little less than a month from then, we're going to see that Pluto aspect at 1 degree. So it is essentially aspecting this, it's off by 2 degrees, but it's essentially aspecting it, right? The sun will be training it, getting ready to come into Aquarius. And the fact that Venus and Saturn just happen to be conjunct on that same day here at 16 degrees it makes sense. And Venus, if you see this, Venus is actually at 16 degrees of Aquarius this whole weekend, right? Well, for at least Saturday, right? So Venus is just semi-sextiling where it was before. So it's definitely, Mars at this point will be at 25 degrees of Cancer too, right? So it's gonna be a little bit different, right? But there's going to be some sort of callback. I'm calling it right now. There's gonna be some sort of callback, January 18th. We're gonna be like, yo, that weekend before Christmas. I think it's gonna be, we look back on that weekend before Christmas and we're like, that was the last weekend of the old world. Like I feel like going after this, like after the holiday season, I think we were already in it, but I feel like we look back and we're like, we didn't realize that this was like the last like Christmas, somewhat Christmas feeling, time or weekend before Christmas. It's hard to describe because the way that the information is coming in, I'm channeling it right now. But it does feel like we're going to look back. I'm like, wow, that was sort of like a final moment, if you will. And then we're like in this new reality, in this new world per se. And when I say new reality, new world, I'm like, it may seem the same on externally, or it may present itself the same, right? But things will be different, right? The nodes would have shifted, right? The sun will be getting ready to come into Aquarius, right? Venus and Saturn, of course, with each other. They're getting ready to conjunct Neptune. So it will be different. Mercury will be way out of shadow. We would have a lot more context, as far as like how things are moving and stuff like that too. So it's going to look different, right? Especially with it being a nodal shift as well. It's it's a pretty big deal here. So just something to take into consideration for this weekend and stuff. I'm going to just move this all the way back to where we were on this Sunday. But we do have that as well, right? Like I said, this is a 1 degree moon and a 1 degree, Capricorn sun. So we can actually, if we, I'll go ahead and just read. I might as well read the Sabian symbols for these guys. I don't mind doing that. So let's see if I go here and then go Google Chrome. And then let's read the sun first. Let's read the sun first. So Capricorn 1. Look up. All right, cool. All right. Make myself a little bit smaller. All right. 3 stained glass windows in a Gothic church, 1 damaged by war. Interesting. This shows the need to have a strong sense of self and a strong constitution or a clear sense of belief in the goodness of the world. This pictures the need to stay strong under the barrage of bombardment. One of the 3 corners of unity, in this case, the one of love, is damaged and separated by the aggressive nature of mankind. With the shattering, the damage of the window, there is often a loss of faith, hope, and trust. Acceptance of love can lead to a healing on many levels. As Leonard Cohen says, there is a crack in everything. That's where the light gets in. That's very, very fucking true. Careless aggression where love should be. Religious or philosophical differences sparking problems. Seeking sanctuary, rescue of endangered holy places, the need for repair, feeling disconnected, a feeling of being under attack, fear-based lectures and sermons, terrorism in all its forms, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, shell-shocked. I don't want to say that there's going to be some war stuff that comes up, but considering the fact that we do have this North Node that's have been in Aries for a while, it will eventually come into Pisces and meet up with this Neptune. And then, of course, Neptune is going to go into Aries, so they're going to switch places, and it's going to come into Aries, which is Neptune does rule religion, and Aries is the sign of war. So it's not hard to put two and two together. And we already are kind of seeing this happen, anyways. So it shouldn't be shocking to really say this, but this does speak to having to dig deep and find our courage and to believe in goodness in the world, even when it doesn't seem like it's there. But a lot of people, unfortunately, can't see it. It's like their souls have been bankrupt of hope or something like that. But this is a time where, more than ever, we need to come together and be strong and to see the goodness in the world and the goodness of people, right? Now, let's look at where the moon is. Libra 1 degree. All right, let's see. The light of the sixth race. Okay, the light of the sixth race transmuted to the seventh. This is interesting. This wonderful symbol shows a time of new beginnings and with an implementation of a brand new order. Often this shows people being interested in attaining spiritual transformation and attainment. As you change and grow, there is a need to respect the value of what is waning and to take the best qualities with you into your future. This often shows being within reach of your ultimate potential. Some aspects of society are left behind for a higher, more evolved state. Ascension to a higher order is pictured, but there is a need to remain rooted in the reality of practicality, lest one loses one's way. Transference of the best of the past into the present, younger, more vital energies taking over. Theosophy, Blavatsky's theories. I don't know who that is, but I guess I could look him up. Finding kindred spirits, ascension, and the new age. Losing touch with practical survival, discrimination against the lower classes or less evolved. Being a space cadet, leaving others behind as not worthy. Yeah, this does talk about spiritual ascension. I do like that. This is where the moon is. But remember, this is a square, so it's going to be a bit challenging. So I guess the challenge is, fighting over differences and not being able to see hope and not being able to really move into the future, taking the best aspects of the past, because we can't just leave it all behind, but taking those best aspects and bringing it into the present. It's interesting that it says younger, more vital energies taking over. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Of course, this is... I'm going to make a prediction right now. I would not be surprised if we see Joe Biden step down this weekend and Kamala takes over briefly. I don't know what her son is, but just that alone kind of makes me feel like it could happen. Definitely very interested to see that. I'm pretty sure Biden is a Sag rising. I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we have the same Sag degree, but I'm pretty sure he's like a 3 or 4 degree Sag rising. And Mercury is now finally direct in his first house, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. So he's probably been pondering over this and whether or not he's going to do it or not, But I'm just saying we could potentially see Joe Biden resign or step down and then Kamala take over. Like, we may get that announcement, we probably won't get it this weekend, but if it does happen, I would not be surprised if it happens very soon. It might be something like it's decided on, but then after Christmas, it's announced or something. So that's a prediction. We'll see if it actually comes true, but I would not be surprised that it is within the next week that we see the president step down and Kamala Harris step in. So just something to think about, I'm gonna, because I am kind of interested, like what's Astro? Wait, no, it wouldn't be that. It would be that's not that. It would be I'm doing this like live with you guys too. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. It's Astro Theme. That's what I meant to do. Because I wanted to look at her chart real fast. Pretty sure it's Astro Theme, right? Is it Astro Theme that I can? Aha, yeah. Because I wonder what degree her sun is. I know she's a Libra, but I don't know what degree she is. She's a 27-degree Libra. Okay, so this. All right. Her MC is Pisces at 2 degrees. So the moon will be quincunxing her midheaven. So it would make for an awkward transition, and then the sun will be sextiling it. The sun will be sextiling her midheaven at 2 degrees of Pisces. She is a full moon baby, which is kind of interesting too. And interesting enough, her Chinese astrology is the wood dragon, and I'm pretty sure. I know we're in a dragon year, but I don't know if we are in a wood dragon year. We might actually be in a wood dragon year, like year of the. I know we're in the year of the dragon, but is it the wood dragon? What's the element of this one? I wonder if it'll tell me. Yeah, it is the year of the wood dragon. So we are in her year. Oh yeah, it's kind of interesting too because it's like you would think that with stuff like that she would have won the election, but I really would not be surprised if she takes over after like I think the decision might be made this weekend, but she takes over after Christmas, and then she's only in power for like the remainder of December and like for like the first 3 weeks of January. But we're literally in the year of the wood dragon. She was born in the year of the wood dragon. The South Node in Libra is going to be quincunxing her midheaven, right? The moon will be quincunxing her midheaven at 2 degrees of Pisces, right? So it's gonna be an awkward way for her to come into that to the top of the mountain per se, because that's the 10th house, like the top of the chart. It's going to be an awkward way for it to come into that spot. So, like I said, that's just a prediction. We'll see if it actually happens. Who knows? But it's just something to something to think about, right? I'm gonna take this back to the Astro Gold and then make myself bigger again. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what actually happens. So, anyways, let's get into the cards. So, all right. If she seriously does come into power, like if they announce it, like Joe Biden steps down and come back to this video and be like, yeah. So I know I'm not the only astrologer that has predicted Kamala Harris taking over for Joe Biden and Joe Biden stepping down. But I guess in the way that's going to happen, I think that this is the weekend that's really going to determine that. So. I have the 3 of Wands here. The way it popped out, like, I don't know if it's really upright or down, but we have the 3 of Wands here. So this does speak to, normally, like I said, it shows someone who's like looking out at something. So we can definitely be getting a little more introspective and thinking about the future and stuff. It's showing this person climbing a ladder though. So there is an element of ascension here. There's an element of, kind of, I guess, fighting through some level of adversity to get to this point to where you can get a better view of things, right? So it's not like you don't just teleport to the top. You actually have to kind of fight through and work through to kind of get somewhere. Now, in the reverse aspect, it shows we're climbing down. So, there's, this could represent kind of in many ways, I feel like we're at almost like the foothill of the mountains because this is the beginning of Capricorn. So it's like we're getting ready to ascend it, right? So I think it's like I think maybe we're getting so caught up as far as like maybe obsessing on how the view is going to look or what we want the view to look like instead of just appreciating the entirety of the journey and then appreciating the view when we get there. And there's going to be different points up the mountain that we're going to be able to look at and see this beautiful, amazing view. And I think we can obsess over what we want the view to look like and what we want to see, but you'll see what you need to see. You'll see what you are meant to see. And I think that's the most important thing here. We do have the Judgment card here. Oh man, we have the Judgment card here. Yeah, so you definitely will see what you need to see. And I like this. I call this the call to arms card. So when God is calling you to arms, when God is calling you to step more into your power and into your destiny, will you show up or will you sit down? That's that's pretty much what I got for you guys. So it's gonna be an interesting weekend. It may seem not that intense at first, but I feel like I said, we will look back on it. Because remember, like that January 18th, that will be about a few days out from the inauguration, right? Because when is the inauguration's like, is it on the 25th? It's on the 25th? Or is it, it's on the 20th. So like literally the Saturday before is when those aspects will be happening. And on the 20th will actually be the day where the sun will be at 1 degrees of Aquarius, and it will be training where that moon and South Node are meeting up this weekend, and it will meet up with Pluto on that day too. So definitely gonna be, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we'll look back and be like, yo, what in the world was that? That's when it went down. That's crazy. That's when it happened. And we'll look back on the 18th, 19th, and 20th and be like, yo, like, we thought 2024 was crazy. We haven't seen nothing yet. But that's going to do it for I didn't mean to do that. That's going to do it for your weekend astrology forecast for this solstice, this winter solstice of 2024, or if you are in the southern hemisphere, the summer solstice. But I trust that this message will assist you on your journey this weekend. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful weekend, and a wonderful holiday. I will see you all on the next video. Peace.